G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the east side of the map, playing as the Ottomans in the colour green. It's Crispy Duck. And on the west side of the map, playing in the colour teal as the English. It's Crackety here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. We're watching two players fight up against each other, currently preparing for Golden League 2. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's an event from EGC TV. It's going to be hosted up in, I think it's January. So quite a while away still. Obviously, we're at the end of December, so it's more than a week. It's a long time. I'm joshing you guys. I'm joshing you. It's not that far. It's not too far to go. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this game, because we got Crackety, normally a China enjoyer, who's going to be enjoying a little bit of English. And I think that just goes to show, you know, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, we all care about winning. We all want to win. We want to use the best civilization that we can for it. So, look, I'm not going to make any judgments here, but I do have my suspicions that Crackety might think the English are a little bit better than the Chinese at the moment. I read a couple of different interesting points from people. Some people suggesting that China's just not as good as it used to be. Obviously, after the nerfs, that's definitely the case. But a lot of people even rating it down into the low tiers. Down in the C tier, in the D tier even. I don't get on board with that. I still think they're very strong. But I think the English are up there. One of the best civs in the game at the moment. Definitely an S tier civilization. And the Ottomans are going to be another civilization that's up there as well. Probably not quite an S tier civ. I think they probably sit in about the A tier at the moment. A very solid civ though. And a lot of flexibility from this civilization now. We used to see a very focused feudal age from the Ottomans. You know, there were ways that you could play 2TC, 3TC, lots of different military school openings that you could potentially do. But it's not going to be the case today that Crispy Duck goes for. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Playing up against the English, they've got access to the archers almost immediately upon, well, not almost immediately upon hitting the feudal age. So it makes a lot of sense not to go for them, because if you do, well, you're just going to be wasting your resources, right? Like, the only time the English is really going to make cavalry is in the Third Age. That's pretty much it. And that's a long way away. Speaking of Third Age, Crackety here might have some ideas about it. So we've got farms, double farm coming up. Also got the mill out as well, and has the wheelbarrow upgrade coming through. So a nice early wheelbarrow upgrade for Crackety coming in. I do feel that this might have been a little bit late. I don't know exactly what the timings are for the English or what the best openings are. Maybe Crackety's testing something here at the moment. You can see his age up's a little bit far away. Compare that to Crispy Duck. He's just going for a standard age up, standard game. Oops, there we go. A little bit of a standard game. Both players opening up with the single scout as well. No two scout shenanigans at this point in time. No man-at-arm openings from Crackety on the English. And I'm curious whether he goes for Fast Castle here, because I think Fast Castle makes a lot of sense, right? The Ottoman take a little bit of time to get going. And so you have a window that you can exploit. Now, the Ottomans can play like a standard game, right? Like they can not go for military school if you don't want to. That's perfectly fine. But if you do that, you're losing a significant part of the civilization, a significant thing that you've got an advantage with regard to that. So I would definitely be advocating to play the military school style, even if you do add them in a little bit later. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Crispy Duck looking to drop them in as the age up is about to complete. That way he can start work on Sparky almost immediately. By the same token, we could see some Abbey of Kings shenanigans here from Crackety. I wouldn't be surprised to see it. The age up coming through. It's going to be the Council Hall. A man can dream, can't he? A man can dream. One day we do see that that Council Hall, or rather that Abbey of Kings coming in. How would you change the Abbey of Kings? How would you make it a viable landmark without totally breaking the civilization? And I think the answer is, like, you could turn it into a bit more, like, at the moment it's considered a religious landmark, right? But what if it could... See, there's two schools of thoughts for me, or two schools of thought for me, rather. The first is like, well, English is already fine. Like, they're an S tier civ, they don't need to change. But at the same time, it's like, well, you don't really want a civilization going to the same landmark 99.9% of the time, right? You want them, ideally, you want like 50-50. If you can get 60-40, that's great. So I feel like one of the things that you could do for the Abbey of Kings is make it so that it can train religious units, or it acts as a monastery, basically, or acts as a monastery once you get to the castle age. So basically, it would unlock the ability to do that. I don't know whether that would be possible. I think that'd be pretty decent, right? It would give you a good alternative if you're looking for these kind of fast castle strategies. And at the moment, it looks like Krakeny might be doing that. 4 villas on gold is a lot of villages on gold. Could be switching it up, though. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is. I suspect it's going to be like 2 or 3 longbows into fast castle. That's going to be the most common thing. Because even if you're playing for a fast castle and you go for the council hall, if you don't go for the council hall, you're missing a lot of flexibility, right? Because, oh, I want to go into longbowmen. Well, now you can't. You're going to have to make archery ranges. You don't want to do that. It's expensive. So I think, you know, I'm really looking forward because I know the devs are planning on doing an update to all of the landmarks that are underused, or maybe just all of the landmarks in general. You see a blacksmith coming down. A lot of resources in the bank here. Let's have a look and see. Okay, does go double broadaxe. Does he also go for horticulture here? This will tell the tale. The double broadaxe indicates he wants to play feudal. A little bit of a wall coming in on the backside as well. Cognizant of that Spahi pressure might be coming out. This is definitely the tale of 2 archer civilizations. Krakeny on the English. English obviously love their longbowmen. By the same token, Crispy playing with the archers of the Ottomans. And honestly, in this matchup, I would probably prefer the Ottomans. If you told me, hey, we're both playing Feudal Age, we're both playing mass archers, which civ do you want? I would probably take the Ottomans. In saying that, though, I have played... I played with a friend of mine, B-Dod. And we were... I think it was B-Dod. I'm pretty sure it was. I can't remember. We were doing some practice. And we were doing, like, archers against longbowmen. And it's crazy just how much the kiting for longbowmen just changes the fight. You can have 15 longbowmen and beat 25 archers if you just kite. And it's crazy that they're that effective. Just that extra little bit of range and damage does so much. But the meta now coming out, and I think the meta definitely changes the way that the way that this matchup plays. Obviously, Raw, without the meta, it's definitely in favor of the English. But I think the meta is what really sets it apart. I guess there's also other things, right? Like the extra resources that you do get as the Ottomans from those passive, from those military schools passively making units for you. So that's also something to consider. I know playing the Mongols can outnumber the English also. But that's only because of their stone that they've got. Krakeny really stacking up that gold though. No horticulture. +1 has come through. There we go. There's the horticulture. I was looking for it. I was wondering why he's not going horticulture, right? Like 7 vills on food. You're going to be going for a heavier food economy eventually. It just makes sense to be getting horticulture ASAP with the resources that you got. He's got so much gold in the bank. Why does he have so much gold? I got no idea why he's sitting on so much gold or what he's planning to do with it. Maybe it was just like a little bit of a miss macro. Maybe he is going for that castle age, but he's just keeping the 3 vills there just to build up that gold slowly. We've seen players do that before. Marine Lord was someone who did that quite a bit. Krakeny going to be on the defensive now. Crispy spots it out. He's got the scout with him. At the same time, Krakeny just kind of posturing. The outpost about to come up on this gold mine, but only a single villager going to be making it. Look at this. No clue. And now it comes in. Villager. He was... Oh my lord, look at the pool. He gets it with the wheelbarrow, keeps it alive. Beautiful control there by Krakeny. Manages to pull the villager with the gold villagers, get them all into formation. He's able to keep them alive. Very well played there by Krakeny. Great little villager pull. Oh, and now we got a problem. Now we got a problem, Crispy Duck. We got a problem. You might be stuck, and the beautiful wall comes in from Krakeny. He goes for a quick wall, and the Spahi going to be copping a lot of damage here from the Gatling gun. Underneath the town center, it just fires off. Meta goes down as well. One Spahi taken out. Meta also taken down. Say goodnight to the second Spahi? No. But he loses all the archers. Beautiful control coming out from Krakeny. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. That's what Krakeny says. Outpost does come up, though. And now Krakeny's got a beautiful defensive position. Picks off a couple more units. And that's going to cost Crispy Duck quite a lot. He's definitely going to be sent to the barbecue for that one. But where does he go from here? Archers. Archers, archers. That is going to be the name of the game. He needs to get a few more meta out. I'd love to see these switched over to meta. He could go 100% archers with just a couple meta right now. And he could actually push this back. And if he doesn't do that, he's going to be in a tough position. He's got +1 ranged armor. Still no +1 ranged attack, though. We don't even see it coming in. He's moving for specialized pick. an interesting decision. I guess he's got 7 villagers here on mining, so it's not a terrible decision. But I'd love to see +1 ranged attack coming through, especially when you consider he's still making archers at this point. Barrack's going to get thrown down for Crackety. Could be moving into men-at-arms. This could be the classic men-at-arms switch that we do see from the English, and 433 gold now stacked up. It's a lot of gold. Holding on that line. Look at this beautiful position inside the stealth forest. Wonderfully done by Crackety. The numbers here looking very good for him. Trying to poke down that scout. You can see it's on 2 health as it just barely survives. The meta goes down almost immediately. Spahi going to be trying to get in on top here. Just not enough units, and Crispy Duck really struggling in these archer wars. Archer Civ versus Archer Civ. Who will win? The best Archer Civ? That is the question. Is it going to be the English? Is it going to be the Ottomans? Crispy Duck, remember, he's still got that tempo coming through. He might not have the numbers right now, but he's got that tempo. And this tempo builds up quite a lot like the Rus tempo does. You guys remember the old Guz build that was thrown around quite a bit? You'd come out, you'd take the boar in the middle of the map. Where's the boar right now? Boar up here. Geez, not really in the middle of the map, is it? But you'd use that boar as your central base. And then you'd build from that all of your archery ranges and then push out. Up to 20 archers now. Crispy Duck. Starting to look really good. Needs to throw in some sweet and sour sauce, so that's for sure. Spahi moving forward. That ranged armor really helping out. Allowing him to tank a little bit more, but needs a medic here. He's taking a bad fight. This isn't a good fight. This isn't a fight you want to take. You want to have the number advantage, not the disadvantage. And he's going to lose a lot of units here that he didn't need to. The Battle of the Archers. Still that question. Now finally the meta joining the fray here. Has he got both of these bad boys on... Okay, he's only got one of them. Actually, he's got... There we go. It's this one. He's got military campus. But now the number's starting to look good. And I think the question is, like, what do you do when the men-at-arms come? Because this is part of the reason why, personally, I would prefer to play a Castle Age style as the Ottomans against the English, because I don't know how to deal with the men-at-arms. You can deal with the longbows, but as soon as they mix in men-at-arms, that is the combo breaker. That's the deal breaker for me. And now, once again, those Spahi heading in to the middle of the battle, getting eliminated very, very quickly. And this is the hard part, right? Oh, that meta. Oh, that poor meta. Almost getting taken out right there. But yeah, I think that this is such a deadly combo, right? Like, how do you deal with a combo like this? I think largely the answer might be like almost a bit of a counter attack in a way. So you're playing archers, right? And you're getting forced back with the men-at-arms. So if you make Spahi and send your Spahi on the longbows, then your archers are then free to attack the men-at-arms. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. But I don't know. Maybe that's the way to play it. Because you can see him just getting eaten alive here. As he tries to kite back, the longbows are just taking him out. They're getting free shots the entire time. And that's the main issue. Now he's in trouble. Trouble in paradise. Right now as the longbows tee up. Men-at-arms also moving out. Meeting up on the front line. The Archer's going to be holding on. Archer Civ v Archer Civ. The Ottomans up against the English here. But the Men-at-Arms just reigning supreme over on that east side. And now beautiful micro coming in from Crispy Duck. Picks up the reinforcements. Doing a great job staying away from these Men-at-Arms. And he's focusing down the Archers. Knows exactly what he needs to do. Misses a stutter step. But he keeps on firing. He's managed to take out a lot of longbows. His micro's been very solid. Crispy Duck, I'm impressed by the size of your girth, my friend. This is good stuff. And now Men-at-Arms continuing to wreak havoc on that wood line. Is it villagers that are going down? No, it's a meta that's going down. Once again, it looks like he's taken out another deer. 2 deer lost in this fray. He's got to be careful not to fight against these men-at-arms. Just wants to keep kiting away from them. And now he's going to be in real trouble because that wood line is going to start to be exposed. And once that wood line's exposed, he's going to be in a real world of hurt. And now we hear that next Vizier point coming through. Where does he go? He could look for Janissaries here, but it's not going to really help. The Janissaries are going to help him clear the men-at-arms, but it's not going to do anything against the longbowmen. It might be what he needs to save him. But an outpost is going to be coming up here. And Crispy Duck definitely falling a bit behind on the military numbers now. Down to about 13 military numbers. The main issue that he's going to have is dealing with these men-at-arms. How do you deal with the men-at-arms? And now the Spahi coming out. Look at this. We do have a stable. Really good read here. Really good read here from Crispy Duck. I'd love to see these Spahi numbers push up a little bit more. Up to about 8 or 9 Spahi. Try and get a nice surround on top of the longbowmen. And just really try and kill the longbowmen, eliminate the longbowmen, and then deal with the men-at-arms after. ideally never even fight against the men-at-arms. You just want to run away. And we can see he's up to 12 men-at-arms now. Crackety just pushing in with this deadly English combo. You know, we talked about at the beginning of this game the prospect of a fast castle. Crackety said, you know what? I don't even need the castle age, mate. I've got men-at-arms in the feudal age. That's all I need, baby. He's got the longbowmen. He's got the men-at-arms. He's a little bit of a dual composition kind of guy. I do like it. The Chukunu spear, the men-at-arm longbow, and now the outpost getting dropped down. Crackety continuing to push forward. A lot of resources going back home, and look at the production back here. The English production right now. Such a deadly combo. Around the corner, Crispy Duck getting caught a little bit off guard. Didn't realize where his enemy was. Longbowman teeing off towards those units. Picking up a lot of free kills right there. Tuville slowly adding in that outpost. Remember, the primary reason he's doing this is just to get the network of castles bonus. An extra 20% attack speed. Very, very nice. And now looking to defend on the south side. Crispy knows that his enemy's moving down in that direction. Looks to try and cut him off. Spahi moving onto the front line. He doesn't want to fight against it. He needs to move the Spahi onto the backside. Does do so. Crispy fighting as hard as he can. He knows how important it is to stay alive here. The outpost gets up. The extra attack speed. He actually forces the longbows towards the archers, but the archer numbers have dwindled too much. He's taken too many bad trades, and Crispy Duck's going to be tapping out. Crackety here victorious in this archer battle and settling the age-old question. Who is the best archer civ? And the answer is the English. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out Crackety. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch him live. He streams in English. He's a wonderful creator. Go say good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.